All right, everybody, welcome. This is just a quick video to cover kind of the pertinent information about the film study, The Humans Before Us. I'm going to be reading over my worksheet, so I'm sorry if I look like I'm reading on the screen. I am. So a couple of things. Question number one, right? Homo habilis is handyman. They stood a little bit over a meter tall, okay? The two traits that they did not share with their predecessors, the Australopithecines, that indicate they're more human-like is a slightly larger brain and smaller teeth. Again, that change in teeth is so critical as demonstrating that human beings, or the evolution of human beings, was the evolution of exploiting new resources, right? Where'd they get their name? Because of the stone tools that they made, because of the tools that were discovered near them, right? Lewis and Mary Leakey, who were kind of the grandparents of modern paleoanthropology, said that Homo erectus shared three traits. That was upright posture, bipedal, and a manual dexterity to make tools. Lucy, excuse me, question number four, was found by Donald Johanson and is an Australopithecus afarensis, right? Not africanus, but afarensis, okay, which is discussed in your book. The Laetoli footprints in Tanzania are also from an Australopithecus afarensis, and I'd emphasized this before. Kind of the three things that are critical about this is um, the excuse me, heel strike, the arched foot, which indicates that they're kind of pushing off with their toe, and the big toe in line with the other toes, right? The early on, the four things that we felt were really critical to distinguish our genus of Homo was an adult brain size greater than 600 cubic centimeters or 600 cc. Limb proportions similar to ours, where the legs are longer compared to the arms, right? Shorter arms and longer legs, which is the inverse of what we're seeing in a lot of other primates. The use of language and the manufacture and use of stone tools. As it discussed in that, though, those are kind of a little bit arbitrary, right? Adult brain size, what does that mean necessarily? It's more about brain complexity, we know. Also, in the paleontological record, there isn't the use of language so much. So it can be a little bit more complex than that, right? However, not all homos kind of conform to those traits, like I said, and so in question seven, Homo habilis has a brain size of only 510 cc's. Okay. Um, at 1.9 million years old, Australopithecus sediba is the answer here, Sediba. Had the two traits like Australopithecines, which was a smaller brain and longer arms, but like Homo, they had smaller molars and facial features, and mostly that whole forward prognition thing that we've been discussing, right? Question nine is kind of worded weird, I realized, so don't worry about that. This was an important one, though. Homo erectus lived from 1.9 million to about 143,000 years ago, and was found in 1891. So this is the rock star of our evolutionary history. This thing makes it 1.8 or so million years. We've only been around for 0.2 million. So an extremely successful animal. And it is the first Homo that makes it out of Africa, which indicates how adaptive it was to a lot of different environments. Homo ergaster is an early form of this, Ergaster, ergaster. And then, besides being the first ones out of Africa, Homo erectus also had these four traits: modern limb proportions, right? So again, longer legs, shorter arms. They had the potential for long distance running. Again, this gets into that heel strike, arched foot, big toe in line with other foot. We talked about persistence hunting and how this is an important mechanism for us to acquire these early resources of very high protein, which lead to bigger brain development and, our teeth getting smaller, which is the third thing I was going to mention in these four traits, which is smaller molars, right? And then much bigger brains than their predecessors, right? So all of this kind of goes hand in hand with each other, right? Those longer legs for running, the feet, and actually skull socket and other things about being able to run. Being able to do those things then are leading us to smaller teeth and bigger brains, right? So it all becomes interconnected, Today, many researchers say those four traits weren't sort of up to par. So today, the things that they look at are the two things: tooth size, right? Because it's associated with this high quality diet, extremely dense nutritional food that we're getting, that we're able to run after, that we're able to hunt better, that we're able to process with stone tools, that we're able to cook with fire, which allows us to digest and get more nutrients out of it, blah, 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 blah. The second thing, and this is a big one, is pace of development. We develop very, very slowly, unlike most animals, right? We often say that the first year of life is the second year of gestation. And the reason that we say that is because, a 1 year old can't do anything. A 2 year old can barely do anything. A 3 year old, a 4 year old, a 5 year old really cannot fend for itself. But there's a benefit to that. It may seem evolutionarily crazy to have such a weak adolescent, a long adolescent period of weakness, but that's how culture gets transmitted. That is how learning happens. Yes, deer and horses and stuff can walk in like hours, right? But within a year, a lot of these animals are on their own. You look at things like, a lot of reptiles that maybe don't, reptiles and amphibians that maybe don't even meet their parents, right? Because it's all on instinct. They don't have to learn anything. We are so adaptive because we're reliant on learning and the ability to make tools, exploit new resources, have rituals, all of these different things. So we're slow to get going. But with culture, we can go anywhere, you know. So that's a key ingredient to human beings. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.